Hello, beautiful people, and welcome, hi, to Day 1 Thoughts on Nilou. Now, you might notice, what's this? Why does your Nilou team have an Electro unit in it? I've got good and I've got bad news for you, alright? The good news is that Nilou has single target focused teams that are better than I anticipated. The bad news is they don't actually clear any slower if you use a 3-unit team and you just don't put Nilou on the team and just use 3 units. Let's talk about her a little bit more seriously. I've done a little bit of testing on her bloom stuff. The stuff that I found the most success with was this team, with full EM Kokomi, and then just normal like attack ER builds for DMC and Kole, full HP on Nilou, and it actually does perform pretty well when it comes to AoE situations. I managed to one-rotate the Rune Drake chamber, just barely, but still. But I didn't manage to one-rotate this chamber and this chamber. I haven't attempted the Nilou teams on the second side because what I have done is I've tested on the Primo Bishop quite a few times, and honestly, having seen how slow it clears the Primo Bishop, I don't think I could get my 3 stars in Abyss when it comes to the single target side. It's very bad. Like, you'll still see your 35k if you got the signature, which this account has. You'll still see your 35k blues, but you just won't get enough. And because in a team like this, your damage is DMC's baseline scaling, which kind of sucks, Kole's baseline scalings, which kind of sucks, Nilou's baseline scalings, which kind of suck, and then the blooms from EM Kokomi and full HP Nilou. Most of your damage on this team comes from blooms. And when you're in single target and you only generate, right, whenever you trigger bloom, right, generate 1 seed, you can trigger multiple blooms and therefore generate multiple seeds, but you'll only get 1 seed per bloom, whereas when you're in AoE, you can get multiple seeds per bloom. It just makes it a lot more ugh. That being said, this account does not have a leveled up Sacrificial Fragments or Wandering Even Star. I'll show you the kind of clear time you can expect in AoE things. Wait, you have a level 80 Sac Frags? Am I stupid? Oh, you do. Okay, I am stupid. But yeah, with the key, we'll be able to reach close to 40k on the blooms. Not quite 40, but... Alright, you can see 36k. But because there's multiple of them at the same time, that they're generating multiple seeds. But as you can see, one of the problems is my Kokomi just died. I don't know if you guys saw, but my Kokomi's HP went to 0 at the end of that chamber there. When you're in AoE like that, you get more damage, but that also means the better your blooms, the more self-damage you'll do. And if you're not careful, it's a lot easier to accidentally die. But yeah, you can actually do a lot of damage if you've set up your stuff properly. You really can. But as soon as it starts being single target stuff, So, when you're in single target situations like that, if you really want to play your Nilou team, unironically, you're better off replacing your Kokomi for an Electro unit and going for a Hyper Bloom team. And then if you want, replace one of your Dendro units for another Hydro or something. Like, it's just... Overall, right, I would say that, like, when she's in her niche, in, like, AoE situations where there's a lot of enemies, she actually is, like, really good. Like, really strong. Like, a solid, like, damn, like, this is nice. The biggest issue that she has is just that there's a lot of characters that are good in AoE, and most of them aren't this bad in single target. So, more or less, kind of like I predicted, from a meta perspective, I'm just not that excited about her. Obviously, with Nahida, she'll get better, and I'll definitely be doing testing once Nahida comes out for Nilou teams. But that being said, I said earlier that I planned on going for Nahida on my free-to-play account, and after testing her on this account, honestly, I won't. I'm pretty disappointed. I think that... Sorry, Nilou. I fucking hate this. I said I was gonna go for Nilou on my free-to-play. I changed my mind. Putting aside performance, like, quality of life-wise, this feels like shit. The self-damage from blooms isn't that high and it's fine, but like, it's still annoying. And you're playing a team that has a lot of self-damage, and what you gain out of it is a team that is also just worse than other teams at doing damage to the enemies, while also being better at dealing damage to yourself. Her E feels really shitty to have to stay on her for like 2 seconds to actually use her fully for a character that's not gonna come back on the field afterwards. Her on-field, right, this thing, is really, really bad. So if you're pulling for Nilou because you like her, she's a fair character you like, you want to see her animations and shit, you're unironically better off not going for Bloom teams, just going for a Hyper Bloom team where you let her get carried. It's like kind of sad. It's unfortunate. I think that's kind of the saddest part about her, is they gave her some like really like good looking animation. Like, this looks so nice, but they made him fucking suck. It's kind of like what they did with Hazo, where they gave him a target lag that's like pretty cool and that feels nice to use and shit, but it has so much knockback that you actually don't want to use it. With Nilou, it's just that the damage is bad enough that you don't want to use, like, that ultimately you don't want to use it. And it's just like, oh, so if you're telling me that if I want to play her well, I have to not do the fun part of her kit? Oh, that sucks. She is actually good in her niche, right? In Bloom teams as an off-fielder, just press E 4 times and then swap out. But like, I wouldn't say that she's good enough in the niche to justify how bad she is outside of it. At least she does have a niche, right? You compare her to Cyno. Cyno doesn't have a niche. Cyno's kind of just like meh everywhere. Nilou is aggressively bad outside of her niche, but actually pretty good inside of it. Higher highs, lower lows, basically. I'd say that, like, from a meta perspective, there's never a reason to really go for Cyno other than you like him. Whereas with Nilou, if you already have teams that can deal with single target stuff and you want to have a team that's good in AoE stuff, Nilou is actually a competitive option with the other good AoE teams in AoE. And with Nahida, she's probably going to be quite strong in AoE, whereas Cyno's just never competitive with anything compared to Kutsing. So there's like more of a meta incentive to roll for Nilou than Cyno. But personally, I roll for Cyno and I'm pretty like happy with him, because as much as I'm a meta-focused player, it's not the only factor that comes into play. And being able to use him wherever kind of feels nice. Nilou is like nearly unusable in single target. Like, actually hard to 36 star on a fucking well-invested account in single target. That being said though, like I said earlier, if you really want a good single target Nilou team, Nilou, Raiden, DMC, Xingqiu.
You still have a special place in my heart.
And in a team like this, not only is Nilou good at, like, decent in single target, I'm not gonna say good, because compared to the good on-fielders for Hyper Bloom teams, she's pretty underwhelming, but like, pretty okay in single target. But also, you get to actually play her on field, and it doesn't feel like shit to play her on field. And you get to see her really pretty normal attacking animations. Another nice thing about this is you can kind of go whatever set you want on Nilou. Right now, I'm on 2 Gilded, 2 Tenacity, which isn't actually the right play for something like this. And I'm also on HP, which isn't the right play for something like this, because when you play her outside of Bloom teams, she can't activate this passive or this passive. So going full HP doesn't do that much, so you're better off going HP damage crit. But you could go HP damage crit on like 2-piece Tenacity, 2-piece Heart of Death, but you could also just go 4-piece TF. Now, you know what? You don't actually get enough uptime on it, do you, Saj? Yeah, I don't think TF is the play, actually. I take it back. TF sucks in this. Conclusion on Nilou. Teams like this aren't good. They're just, you like Nilou and you want to make her work in single target. Generally, she's an AoE unit. She's good in AoE. She's pretty bad in single target. She's gonna get better with Nahida. Honestly, don't go for her unless you just really like her character. If you want to pull her for meta reasons, wait for her rerun once Nahida's out, once potentially other Hydro units or Dendro units that synergize with her are out. Because right now, pretty meh. As much as I have a pretty negative outlook on her overall, she does clear AoE stuff pretty quickly, and it's pretty funny to see the enemies die to Bloom damage like that. As much as I'm pretty negative on her, I can definitely understand why some people might not be. So let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe. Did you know 100% of the people watching my videos are subscribed to my channel? The reason it's 100% is because it's rounding up. You're actually literally the only person who's not subscribed. Don't be a loser. Subscribe. Alright, bye YouTube.